One, two, three. One, two.
This is brought to you by Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
No, the flip it's not.
Okay.
Stop.
Can I not make a funny intro?
No.
Oh. This is brought to you by Big Mana. All Eldrazi.
Oh my gosh, Rupon.
What?
Can we stop recording? No, because you just messed everything up.
Why?
Because you went, sponsored by Dr.
No bad cards.
No bad cards, ladies and gentlemen.
Brought to you by...
Brought to you by what, Rupon? We're not even sponsored by anything right now. So what is it brought to you by, Rupon?
The Blind Eternities.
Of course, because you're blind for eternity. That's what it is. Not when you're not prepared for it. I'm prepared all.
Well, yeah, but then we
And
get
then
your
here
real
you are.
reaction on camera.
You got my real reaction on camera.
John McClane is forced out of a suspension to play a game of Simon Says by terrorists who has planted bombs all around New York City.
Yeah,
Is
I
it-
knew it wasn't Los Angeles.
I thought it was Los Angeles. Welcome to No Back Cards. I'm Larry the Elf Lord, and this is Rupon.
The Ulamog.
And today we're going to talk about the modern ban list and the modern current meta and a recent tournament we just played today where Rupon the Ulamog got first
Oh,
place
shit, we're talking about that?
and got his invite to the RC. So let's start off with the ban list. Alright, so on the ban list we have Flage Titan of Fire's Fury, which is a card that I used a lot. And Lotus Field, which is a combo piece for Amulet Titan. Then there's some unbanned cards. Violent Outburst, which is very good for living in. And Umzawa's G.
Umazawa's GT.
Yeah, GT. So, obvious reasons for Flage being banned. Well, some said it was just unstoppable, which I don't think that was the case.
It's not necessarily an unstoppable card, but it's a very... I mean, they gave their reasonings for Flage, and I think their reasonings for Flage is very correct. It's a card that prevented a lot of... It's a very unhealthy play pattern of turn 3 do this, turn 4 Arena of Glory, and your opponent is just dead. Additionally, the card Flage just turned off multiple decks from existing, whether it was Burn, other creature aggro decks, Mill, etc. I was like, it's like if Flage is good enough to exist, Ura should exist in the format, and that card probably shouldn't exist. So it probably shouldn't exist.
Okay.
It's not a real loss.
So let's go into their
As far as
explanations.
the health of the game goes.
So this is their explanation.
Yes.
Over the last couple of years, Boros Energy has been a deck that's seen consistent success, floating around the top 3 most played decks in the format and online play. We've seen Boros Energy steadily climb in metagame share, with fewer and fewer decks able to compete with it. For a time, we saw a few different versions of Boros Energy that mixed in new colors and tech, but lists have largely solidified around versions like the list above, which is basically for Johnny Nakato Praya. What, I don't. 4 Guided Souls, 4 Oscillate Pride, 4 Flage, 4 Ragavans, 4 Season Pyromancer, 2 Voice of Victories, 1 Blood Moon, 3 Goblin Bombardment, 1 Legend of Roku, 4 Galvanic Discharge, 2 Therum Charms, 3 Arena Glory, 4 Arid Mesa, 2 Elegant Parlors, three Fledged Strands, 2 Marsh Flats, 1 Mountain, 2 Plains, 3 Sacred Foundries, 3 Windswept Heath. So that's the list from above. We believe this is in part to the rate of the combo between Flage,
And
Titan of Fire's Fury, and Arena of Glory.
Yes.
These two cards together hang over games and threaten a bunch of face damage or to distribute 2 of Flage Titan's triggers from the graveyard. The rate of this pair has led to the deck playing progressively more copies of Arena Glory over time, which then makes it harder to include more cards of colors that aren't red. Our decision to remove a card from this pair in lieu of attacking another part of the deck is because this consolidation variation hasn't been localized entirely in energy variants. We also observe that most aggro and mid-range decks in the format either adopt the combo or almost disappear from the metagame.
Correct.
We think the aspirational synergies of Arena Glory offers with cards like Scion of Draco and Quantum Ruler are things that lead us to preserve it over the Elder Giant. This led us to believe that we needed to act and that Flage was the card to see to the door. Flage isn't the only card being added to the modern ban list, however.
Stop now, please. So, as I just said, Arena of Glory and Flage is the best thing you can do in those colors. There is no reason to play another aggro deck if you're not doing it. Other decks just included. It's the best thing. There's a reason Jeskai Energy existed, and it was Jeskai Blink.
Well, I am not saying
It's the reason
that
you played Flage. You have won so many games playing Flage. You're doing Flage this. Oh, you have to worry about my combo. I just kill you with Flage.
Well, okay, I understand that, but it's like I'm not playing blue. I'm playing decks that aren't playing blue. I have to have some kind of top end play to get me out of certain situations because I am not playing blue or I am not playing green.
That's sure. The thing is that the energy decks don't need Flage to be good. They still put up reasonable results. The Modern Challenge, if you take a look, half the top decks were energy.
Yeah, because that was also the most played deck, and you can.
That still doesn't matter.
you
The
can
most played decks could still do like garbage and lose.
But you can say this a lot that it's because they have Flage. Oh, it's because they have Flage. Oh, it's because they have Flage. There's been plenty of times where decks were able to stop not only my combo but my Flage.
Yeah, but Larry, here's the thing: you play a tier 3 deck, tier 3 to tier 2 combo deck. What you get hit by is just like gust in the wind, and you have accepted that by choosing what you play. So,
I still
you
got
can't get
pretty good results with those tier. How you
yes.
say tier 3, tier 2? I have placed.
I didn't say
and I've gotten my invites with those.
Yeah, that's not relevant to this discussion though. Where you've placed on how you've done with the deck, it's not disparaging your deck. It is explaining to you that your concerns of it's hit my deck is not something they view. This hits Larry, so we can't ban it is not how they view these things.
I understand that's not how they view these things, but I go up. I've played so many Boros Synergy games,
Sure.
and once I see the Flage, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not sitting there like, oh, I can't stop this. Oh, this hurts me. It's not like other games, like, for instance, the other deck that got hit by the ban list, Amulet of Titan. That's different. When Amulet Titan did their combo, I could not stop it. I could not interact with it. I could not prevent any way from them going off. And once they had the Lotus Field, because it's a land, I can't stop it from that point, is what I'm saying. With Flage, I did not have an issue stopping their Boros Energy with their Flage in the grave.
If you were playing your Mardu deck, yes. If you're playing your Elves deck, they go Flage, kill a guy. Flage, kill
but I
a
got
guy.
Endurance.
Okay, but they have killed your Elf. You now have to 2 for 3 for 1? They've killed your creature, they've gained 3 life, and then you pitch a thing for an Endurance to exile their Flage? Cool.
No, I just hardcast the endurance.
Okay.
I've always been able to hard and elves. I was always,
Okay.
but elves is a
So
or
you've
was
also,
at a tier 2 deck.
sure.
So
It doesn't matter what tier it is at. The thing is, you've also gained a net positive from this ban. Flage being out of the format also has helped you, and Lotus Field being out of the format has banned you. So this is like irrelevant in the sense. Which the way you have to view bans is not as how it affects me. And this is how people view it all the time, and this is actually really harmful. Is that they go, "Oh, this affects me. I hate it." It's like, how is the gameplay pattern overall, not just for yourself? Because obviously you're going to view things from yourself, from your own perspective. This is always going to be this is true.
I did not say, "Oh, this is affecting me." I just said this is a card that I have played. So please do not say that I'm thinking of this from, "Oh, how does this affect me?" Because I am not. I said that I haven't had an issue with dealing with Flage.
That's not really true.
That is true.
You have never lost to a Flage?
I didn't say I never lost to a Flage. I never had a problem dealing with the Flage.
If you've never, then you did have a problem dealing with the Flage because you've lost to it.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is it's not. It hasn't got me to a point to where I'm like, "Oh, this card should be banned." Like Lotus Field, on the other hand, yes. I've had problems. I've had issues with them playing Lotus Field in Amulet because there's no way to interact with lands. You tell me, is there a way to interact with lands?
There is a way to interact with lands, but not in your colors. The decks you play.
And then in a lot of other decks too.
Sure, but we will discuss that first. So we were finishing up Flage. I would like to finish up on Flage.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm just saying I feel that you are making me think that I'm one-sided on my opinion with Flage, and I'm not. So I would like to address that first.
I mean, you're coming from your perspective on it, and you are not viewing other decks' perspective.
I'm not. When I brought my perspective in it, I wasn't talking about other decks at the time. I was talking of the overall general aspect of Flage.
Like, I don't like the decks I play. I generally don't worry about Flage at all, and I still don't think it's a very. I think it's a very unhealthy card because Flage does just kind of sometimes just win games out of nowhere, and it really shouldn't. One card shouldn't just win you games out of nowhere.
Well, there's a lot of cards that one card can win games out of nowhere.
Name one card that wins games out of nowhere.
Living End.
Living End is not a one card combo. There's a bit. We will discuss Living End in a second, but it requires you to do much more than one card.
What is it? Just give me something to cascade, and then I cast Living End.
And then what does Living End get you then?
The cards in my graveyard.
Well, what's in there?
That I freaking pitched.
Oh, so you need the other cards then?
But you also need 5 things in the graveyard.
So you need
for Flage.
You mean the things you generally do normally?
And
like playing lands and fetches?
Fetches.
And you also don't need anything for Flage to do a literal free lightning elixir. You just need to cast it.
So
the other thing with Flage End is that the escape mechanic is broken, so decks like Mill, like today I played against Mill. That deck was unplayable because of Flage. It literally killed the deck.
Because they would fill up the graveyard
for the Flage and die to the Flage.
And then die to the Flage.
Yes. Burn was unplayable because of Flage. Any deck that actually tried to deal damage was unplayable because of Flage. Not Guide of Souls. Guide of Souls is like a card you can fight. You can't really fight a Flage, especially it goes ETB. Well, you go gain 3 life, then you go gain another 3 of the when you recast it with Arena of Glory, and then you attack again and you gain another 3 life. Yes, you didn't play any like aggressive combat based decks. You didn't play any mid range decks. How does a frog deck beat that? It doesn't. That's the reason Jeskai Energy and Jeskai Control played right.
Okay, I think we got off of topic.
Yeah, a little bit. I think so.
I feel like what we needed to do to bring it back was I was explaining
that you didn't have any
issues the card, and I I didn't bring anything of why it shouldn't have been banned. I think you made it to a point. I did not say anything of why should this be banned. I just read their
Yeah.
why the reason why they were banned.
Great, thank
and
God
then,
it's gone.
and then then
I have
was-
copies of this card, and I'm glad it's gone.
And then so I think what we're gonna do is go move on to the
Yeah.
next topic.
Mm-hmm. Now, the second card that was banned.
Keep in mind,
Yeah.
Rupon,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not talking, or when I bring my perspective or anything, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to justify or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
From here on forward,
Okay.
Flage was a card that I played. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not.
I was also a card I played.
Yes, okay. Just keep that in mind.
I'm happy it's gone.
I'm not happy that it's gone, but I have to accept it.
Yeah.
Just like I have to accept them taking away my grief.
Yeah. The next card that's gone is Lotus Field.
Oh, hold on. I'm
That's-
getting there. All right. Well, they're going. Obviously, they show us Amulet Titan. For those people who don't know what Amulet Titan deck is basically it plays a artifact called Amulet of Vigor, which says that if a permanent will come and tap, you untap it.
Sure.
And so it's basically a landfall deck, would you say? Landfall combo deck? Right?
Sure, yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
It plays 2 Aftermath Analysts, 4 Burrow
I don't know if that plays it anymore. That's what it used to play.
Aftermath Analyst.
I don't know what they play now. I haven't taken a look at the new lists.
Well, I'm
This
just I'm
is
going
the
off the
pre-ban- This
list.
is the pre-ban list.
Yes. So it had the Burrow Grazers, a Dryad Arbor, Insidious Fungus, Primeval Titan, 3 of them, and 1 Wandering Minstrel.
I don't know. That list seems a little outdated, even the one they used
The
here.
4 Spelunking, the 4 Amulet Vigor, 2 Summoners Pack. This seems like the similar list that. Now we're talking about Lotus Field, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
and it was part of the Amulet Titan deck,
correct.
which is basically
Technically, Lotus
running-
Field does have its own deck, but it's like Twiddlestorm, which is now absolutely gone.
it's
You can't play it with that.
can't.
So the cool. I don't know if you've ever played against Twiddlestorm.
Yes, I played it with you against you.
Oh sure. I mean,
Yeah, you
only
you kicked my butt with it.
It's
This
really
was
fun.
this is back when I first started getting back into competitive,
Yeah, it's fun.
which was 2022, right?
Yeah. So Twiddlestorm has actually faced a terrible time, and now it's like actually dead. So first it got the One Ring banned.
Which was very important for it.
Yeah, because you could just like ring, survive, twiddle, and tap, draw a bajillion cards and win. And then I got the Breach banned, which I mean is fair, is Breach. And now I got the Lotus Field, which is like the important part of like how you play the deck banned. And now it's pretty dead. I don't think yeah, it's dead.
But I
R.I.P. Twiddlestorm.
But again, I can see why this card got banned. Like I said, going over the Amulet Titan list. My thing is, the problem is you cannot react to a land being played.
Yeah, you cannot interact with land plays. That is correct. You can respond
So-
to triggers that those lands put on, perhaps, but
But it's still going to be there. They're still going to tap for 3.
Mhm.
They're still going to be able to go through their combo, and you're just going to sit there and be like, "Yeah, I die."
This is true. The real issue with Titan is a lot of their lines, which involve with Lotus Field, Aftermath Analyst, Shifting Woodlands, and etc., are just not interactable to basically any deck.
No deck.
The only time you can do it is if you have like a consign on the trigger, and then you have a solitude before they can sack with like a surgical extraction,
You have to have 4 cards just to interact with one thing.
and then they're like dead. And like there's a couple other times like if you play like a rest in peace and they can't do it, but then play Bosages. They play enough outs for that. The real issue is like on game 1, you just go land this, land that, make the mana scape shift, do the thing, and you just win. It's very simple because of the Lotus Fields. And now it's a lot difficult. I still think that Aftermath Analyst should be banned from the deck. I think Lotus Field itself is fine. But I'm okay if that's what they want to hit. And like,
Well, the reason why they hit it is, as I was reading over the description during our little intermission, was it made it infinite mana, infinite Bosages, infinite Artawaras, interactions, to where now you can't even interact with it.
But they can still do that with Aftermath Analyst.
Well, it made it, now it's making it more difficult.
It's slightly more difficult.
And they don't have the infinite part.
No, they still make infinite mana. They can still make infinite mana.
But they need more cards. They can't just do it with
Sure,
one
it
card.
requires more cards, but the thing
Then
is,
that's what they're getting at. That's what they were getting at, was that it was
it's harder to make the infinite mana without the Lotus Field. If they take away the Aftermath Analyst, they just don't have that type of infinite anymore, period. That's like basically the Aftermath is the card that you can't interact with.
Well, do you want me to read what
I know exactly what they say. I'm
gonna read it for the viewers.
Sure, you read it for the viewers. I understand their reasoning. I just think that eventually they'll like do another thing because they always print some stupid landfall thing for Commander, and eventually it always translates to Modern from Ice Tilt to this to every card in here is like really played in like 3 to 4 bracket Commander decks. Because that's what Titan is. It's like level 3-4 Commander decks, except tuned up to like kill you on turn 2.
All right, so Emerald Titan has seen good bit of success in the last 18 months or so, with most of that success being concentrated in tabletop play. The version of the deck widely considered to be the strongest is the one that uses a combination of Lotus Field, Aftermath Analyst, and Shifting Woodland, which our buddy Anthony plays, and these are the 3 cards that he plays in that list.
I've never really watched any other Amulet Titan player not play those because that's the best way to play the deck.
Okay, I'm going to continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once it's established said loop, the Lotus Field, Aftermath Analyst, Shifting Woodland, it can pull all the lands in its deck onto the battlefield in its owner's hand, or leave them in a graveyard if need be. This provides the infinite mana and infinite channeling of Boseiju Who Endures and Arwara Soaring City. The path to get there can frequently involve extremely complicated and, more importantly, non-deterministic lines of play that are a nightmare for tournament logistics.
Correct.
Even looking past the details for tournament logistics, Lotus Field adds a very meaningful power to Amulet Titan deck. It allows the deck to begin executing its combo from fewer resources than it otherwise would be able to, as it's the only land in Modern that can tap for 3 mana without needing several other cards to be involved.
Yes.
And I think what they're talking about is the Tron lands.
Yeah,
You need to have the 3 different lands in order for them to tap the 3.
And then
Yeah, I think that's the only one. Was it the tower that taps for 3?
Yeah, I mean, if you had like an Inexplicable Mansion, your lands can tap for 3 if you had.
Well,
Sure, right. That's another card involved. This is the only one that can do it with other cards involved.
Yeah. So,
or Utopia Sprawl on a bounce land or something.
Yeah.
Taps for 3, technically.
This ends up mattering in patterns of play involving Scape Shift and an Amulet of Vigor.
Correct.
Which then goes without saying, because they do the bounce land, they're going to bounce the Lotus Field, play the Lotus Field, do loop, loop.
Yes.
So they said with previous removing Flage as a meaningful hit to a few of the strongest decks in the format, we are already concerned that with the power level of Amulet Titan coming out of the previous round of regional championship and believe Modern will be more fun to play without this version of Amulet Titan existing.
This is probably true. I mean, it's not very fun to watch your opponent do things. You're like, well, no matter what I do, I have no interaction possible for this. It doesn't exist.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying, like, I can see why Lotus
no.
Field is a reasonable way to get banned, because you cannot interact with someone playing a land.
Yeah.
And by the time they play the land and you're ready to interact, they'll be like, okay, I'm going to tap for 3 mana, untap it, tap it for 3 more. So I got the 2 triggers of Amulet Vigor
Yeah.
on the stack. So I'm going to make 6 mana. And then you're going to prevent me from sacrificing 2 lands? Okay, cool. Now I got 6 mana. I could play a Primeval Titan if I wanted to.
Yeah, no.
Or go
I
into
don't-
Shifting Woodland to get a whatever, or, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that Lotus Field was a reasonable ban to lower the power level of Amulet Titan, because it was at that point to where no matter what you can do, it was becoming more and more interactable.
Sure. And I don't disagree, and I'm happy with this ban. My issue with it is that the loop for infinite mana, infinite titans, infinite whatever still exists because Aftermath is still in the deck. And Aftermath is also a card that there is basically no interaction for.
Aftermath Analyst
Analyst.
is a creature, right?
Yes. The problem is that it's ETB, sure you can stop, but its activated ability is a cost. So it goes into the graveyard whenever you pay for it. You cannot Solitude it if they have 4 mana open. They just pay it as it goes away. You can't Fatal Push it or anything. And when it goes in the graveyard, all the lands come back, and then you untap and you make the infinite mana, and then you Shifting Woodlands, and you make it a copy of Aftermath, and you still do the same line. It's the same line. It just requires you to have a couple more land triggers, which is like fine because you can't just immediately go Scape Shift after Lotus Field and immediately get there. And I feel like that's fair.
And I think that's what their problem was.
The problem is that this line is still just as interactable and unfun as it was before.
But now you have to wait like
A turn.
maybe a couple turns.
Just one turn, I think, depending on what hands they keep and whatever. I'm not a Titan aficionado, but I'm pretty sure they can still do turn 2s. And even if you take away the Aftermath Analyst, they still have turn 2s.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary for them to just kill you with turn 2s. That
But
card is just so
I think this is a
uninteractable.
progress.
It is a reasonable progress. I'm not disagreeing.
And I think
my personal gripe with it is that it hits a thing that was fine before, and the Lotus Field was in the existed before Aftermath Analyst.
yes.
And it was not a problem. Aftermath Analyst is the card that broke it.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. So that's my issue.
I think what should happen was 2 cards should have hit Amulet of Vigor or the Amulet of Titan deck.
No, I think just Aftermath Analyst would stop this, because then Lotus Field does nothing.
I think, or if they got rid of Aftermath Analyst,
Yes.
do you believe that they would have taken out Lotus Field? I don't think so.
No, they don't have to take it out. It doesn't do anything afterwards. The reason the amount of mana is so good and the escape is so good is because once you get the Aftermath Analyst, the amount of mana the Aftermath Analyst can get you with the Lotus Field, the Lotus Fields is relevant.
Okay, but my thing is,
Without it, it's not relevant.
okay, my thing is, if they get rid of the Aftermath Analyst, does that kill Amulet of Titan?
No, it doesn't kill it, but the other plays they have now are interactable to other cards that exist. Like if they just go cast Lumra, ETB trigger, can you interact with an ETB trigger?
Yes.
Okay, cast Amulet of Titan. Can you interact with an Amulet of Titan? Amulet? Yes. Can you interact with a Primeval Titan? Yes. The core issue is unless you have a counterspell immediately for the Aftermath Analyst, or outside of blue,
I mean,
you have no interaction. Removal, any non-blue deck has literally no agency against Amulet Titan, and they still don't. You're gonna Thoughtseize this? Cool. Now my Shifting Woodlands is better. You could
Okay.
hit the Shifting Woodlands. That is also a reasonable count hit.
Yeah, because it's an activated ability. Right?
It's a land.
Yeah, but with an activated ability.
With an activated
right?
ability, yes.
So as soon as they pay all that mana into
Mhm.
activating the Shifting Woodland,
Mm-hmm.
trying to target the Aftermath
Mhm.
Analyst, if you consign that trigger, well, now they wasted
You
that
can't
mana.
consign activated abilities with consign.
So,
Yeah.
but I feel like they wasn't attacking Aftermath Analyst because they didn't want to kill. They feel like they would kill the deck.
I don't think it kills the deck. It was turn 2ing people before Aftermath Analyst.
So, now
But-
going on to the
But I think that's fine, and I think it's a reasonable move forward. I just like... I
I feel like the thing.
to be fair, having played against a lot of people that are good on Amulet Titan, like the other issues, like you could board in like super good graveyard hate against it, but
Mhm.
those cards lose immediately to the Urza Saga plan.
Which is what gets them the Amulet Titan.
Yeah, I know, they just make constructs and then just beat you to
Uh-huh.
death.
What are you supposed to do with?
Right? You go make a guy, make a guy, make a guy, make a guy. Okay, you die.
Yeah, oh wow! I played this Urza Saga. Oh, I could tap it for a
So like the
colorless.
graveyard hate against those like Saga decks, and I learned that a long time ago, is like not particularly great.
Well, there was a before they made the ruling change for
Yeah, sure,
those
sure.
Saga
You
decks.
can blood moon them, but then they're stuck on two. You just absolutely die for sure, for sure.
But my thing was,
But overall, it's a fine ban. I just think they could have done a better one.
but before they eradicated the sagas,
Mhm.
like you blood moon them and then they went away.
Yeah. I think there is a nice thing to say is that the Lotus Fields made the combo somewhat easier, and so like newer players could kind of do it.
Yeah.
And I guess like not only good players can do it, but like, and this has been like their argument for that is that well, Titan's really hard to play, so only good players can play it, so it doesn't matter. But that's like, that just doesn't make me feel better. It's like, oh, this person's going to kill me because they know how to play their deck. Is like, does not make me feel any better.
No, because I sit there and I play my deck. I've been playing my deck and I'm not, and I'm good at it, but I'm losing turn 2 because it has better cards than mine.
Well, that's not necessarily that. Is like,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like, oh, it has better cards than what I'm playing. But what I'm saying is
that's a broken card. That's
yeah.
okay because well, you have to learn how to play it. I was like, what? That's what kind of an argument is that? For sure.
It's not an argument. It's just them. It's just them trying to hide behind their own insecurities or inconsistent.
And
Like-
some inconsistencies, sure. All right, now those are the two cards that got banned in Modern. What was
I'm-
unbanned?
That's where I was trying to go into.
Yeah, I would like to answer
And one of those cards is the Umzewa
that. Umezawa's
Jite.
Jite?
Yeah.
Yes, a very very beloved Magic card. That-
I remember back in my days of when I was playing back in the late 90s, early 2000s. This was a card that you saw in a lot of aggro type decks.
Mhm.
And what I mean by aggro back then, they were 1-drop, 2-drops, 1/1s. That was
Yeah.
literally, this card was good.
I think in the age of 2026 Modern, Umezawa's Jite is just not that good. Now, obviously, if you connect with a creature and you put the charge counters and everything, it's a removal spell, it's a buff spell, it just gains life. It's just pretty reasonable still, but paying 2 mana for basically a do nothing is just like not great. I think it will see some play in people trying it out in Hammer Time as like 1-ofs or 2-ofs or whatever. And maybe it'll be kind of funny in like Mirrors of like Boros Energy, where if they're flying like guide or whatever hits it, then like they just kind of lock it down. I think this card should have probably come off the balance for a while. Now people are like, "Oh, you can never unban Umezawa's Jite," and I'm just like, no, that's not really the case.
Well, again, it costs 2.
But yeah, it costs.
And it's equipped as 2. Now, for some people who do not know what this card does, let me read what it does. It is a legendary artifact equipment that costs 2 color, 2 generic. and it has whenever equipped creature deals combat damage,
Mhm.
put 2 charge counters
Mhm.
on Jitte. Remove a charge counter from Jitte. Choose one. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn, or target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of turn, or you gain 2 life.
Oh my god, we solved the Flage issue. You could just unban this and then. No, I'm just kidding.
And then the equip cost is 2.
Yeah.
And like I said to you, it's a legendary artifact, so you can't have multiples of
Yeah.
it. So that's only
Yeah.
one copy can stay on the
Yeah.
field,
Yeah.
which that's not super overpowering because I'm not going to be able to have 4 copies
Yeah.
of this on the field
It's
at
really
one
cool
time.
with double strike creatures because you get 4 counters.
I mean, yeah, but it has to hit. Like it has to
have
does
hit.
damage.
It'd be really cool if you put it on a Psychic Frog and you hit him, and then you put 2 counters, and then I don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest with you. I just think it'd be cool. I just don't think it'd be good.
I mean, there's like
The next card we're going to talk about it just blows this one out of the water.
As soon as you go to equip this card, I'm going to remove the creature.
Sure.
There's too much
mentioned
creature
Hammer Time.
removal.
Hammer Time is a deck that plays Sigarda's Aid, which lets you auto-equip equipments.
Uh-huh.
And it plays Hammer... what's the hammer called?
You play this deck, Rupon.
I do play this deck. I can't remember the name of the card, but it plays like Colossal Hammer.
Yeah,
Colossus
exactly.
Hammer. Colossus Hammer, which is like gives a creature +10/+10.
But its equip cost is 10.
Its equip cost is 10, but Sigarda's Aid lets you auto-equip for free. There's a couple other little small creatures like an Esper Sentinel and whatnot. And this is like pretty cool because you can like cheat out the equip cost. So it's like just 2 mana, and it plays a couple other things that find like equipments. And so like it probably see some play there because like the equip like it plays like Memnites and stuff and Mox Opals now because Mox Opals unbanned. So you can like equip it to like a Memnite draw, like put the maybe not Memnite, but like Memnite too because it has one, but like the Ornithopters. But you can put it like on that and then put that, then power it up, and then you have guaranteed removal for any flyers or anything. But like that's like a fringe situation where like yeah they'll play it, but it's like is it better? Does it like solve any of the issues for that deck? And the answer is no.
No, I don't think so. All right, so let's go into the next card that got unbanned, which is Violent Outburst.
Boo! Boo!
This is a instant.
That's how I feel about that card.
One
Obviously.
generic mountain and a forest. It has Cascade.
Boo!
And the creatures you control get +1/+0 until the end of turn. I don't think we care about the second part. The first part is the Cascade. Well, the first part is the instant. The second part is the Cascade.
Fair enough. Would you like to describe anything else about this card before I have my say on this?
Oh, that in Living In now makes it an instant instead of a sorcery?
Well, there are 2 decks that in the the Cascade spell, Violent Outburst, is usually played in decks that cascade into a 0-cost spell.
Yeah, that's
usually
Living In.
Living End. The Rhino spell, what's it called? Crashing Footfalls. But every once in a while, there's also the one that Armageddon's and the one that like lets you free cast things. I forgot what's it called. The red one. They're all like almost all of them are like Modern Horizon ones.
Okay.
Well, some of them, like 2 of them are like Modern Horizons, and one of them is like Living End's not Modern Horizons, obviously. But basically, the most 2 popular decks are Living End and Rhinos, is what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And those decks used to be the best decks because the issue with the Cascade being instant speed is that you can defend it with a Force of Negation on your opponent's turn. And that's kind of hard to beat.
Well, let me go into their explanation of why they unbanned it.
And they think Consign can stop it.
Violent Outburst was initially banned in a very different version of Modern. Just a hair over 2 years ago at the time, it was in pre-modern Horizon 3 World, Underworld Breach, Grief, the One Ring, and Gigantha, the Wellspring. Did I say that right?
Gigantha the Wellspring, yes.
Yeah.
Also banned.
were still legal, and we hadn't seen the shakeup that came with unbanning Mox Opal, Green Sun Zenith, and Faithless Looting. There also have been some extremely potent hate cards for Cascade decks printed in the time since, including Consigned to Memory and Vexing Bauble. We believe the gap between the previous version of Teamer Rhinos that existed in the early 2004 is close to an appropriate power level for today's modern. Lorwyn Eclipse giving Living In a shot in the arm has largely also seemed to be positively received by the community, which has us interested in showing the archetype a bit of love.
Yes, because if the deck gets good cards, we should give it more good cards. That won't make any problems.
I don't agree with their
Yes.
initial viewing of the deck.
Yeah, so one of the things they say is true. I think Consign to Memory and Vexing Bauble are very good hate pieces for Cascade. This is true. I cannot disagree with that.
But the
The
thing,
problem is that realistically, when people talk about the problem with violent outbursts, they don't really talk about rhinos because overall, making 2/4/4 bodies for 3 mana is good, but it's not broken.
yeah,
Nobody's like, man, this Cascade Footfalls deck is fucking unfair, right? Nobody says that.
yeah.
It's like this is a fair mid-range beatdown deck, and what they mentioned there about it is fair. I think if, like you said, only if you register Crashing Footfalls and you don't put Living In, you can play Violent Outburst, I would be probably behind it. The problem deck with it is going to be Living In, and for the viewers that don't know what Living In is, would you like to describe it, Larry?
So Living End is a zero cost sorcery that that says that you sacrifice all the creatures on the battlefield
Mm-hmm.
and you get all the creatures in the graveyard, basically swap.
Yeah, both players do that.
Yeah, both players. And it's a sorcery speed. But with Cascade,
you ignore timing restrictions.
you ignore timing restrictions. So with it being an instant
Mm-hmm.
in Living In, and they're casting Outburst
Yeah.
on your turn, they then get their pieces out.
Yeah. Notably, these Cascade decks, they do not ever play anything that they cannot, like, they can't, when they Cascade, it's not just like randomly, oh, random good thing. No, they only have, like, the spell to hit. Anything else is above the CMC of the spell.
Give me a different version of Living. They're giving me the Japanese alt-art version.
You can't read that?
I can't read that.
Ugh,
Don't know Japanese.
time to learn, weeb.
Luckily, I know what the card does.
Yes. You sacrifice all creatures
On the battlefield,
field.
and then
You exile them, and then you put
you
their creatures. It's like
exile-
Living Death, but like zero mana
yeah.
is what it is.
So it basically gave Living In
Mm-hmm.
instant ways to win.
Yes. Well, the thing is, what they do is the deck plays a bunch of cycle effects like Street Wraith, Generous End, and other type of cyclers like that, which fills up their graveyard, and then they cascade into the spell. They get a bunch of creatures, and they swing and kill you. It's very simple, and at sorcery speed, it's fairly interactable. At instant speed, it becomes a lot more difficult. The other issue is that the Lorwyn cycle gave them Wistfulness. Wistfulness is an elemental incarnation, one of the two that they play, that says if you spend green, you can exile an artifact when you evoke this creature, and if you play blue, you draw 2 cards and you discard a card. Now, this is on base level, doesn't seem that insane, but because the green thing will remove all the hate pieces that exist, such as Vexing Bauble, Chalice of the Void, Rest in Peace, or anything like that, they play 4 of these in the main already, and they were playing it before Violent Outburst was unbanned, and the deck was performing fairly well. And the draw spell is pretty good because you get to draw 2 cards and fill up your graveyard with the Wistfulness and whatever else you choose to discard. The other reason this card is good is it's both blue and green, and this deck plays both Subtlety, Force of Negation, and Force of Vigor. All things that this card can pitch to. Well, I mean, this it does everything the deck wants it to. The other card that I've seen some lists play is the other elemental incarnation, the
Deceitful,
Deceit.
right?
Deceit. And
Deceit.
Deceit is blue for blue if you evoke it, and it's like 5/5 for 6 mana.
I think so.
Yeah, because Wistfulness is 5 mana.
Yeah,
But
it's one more.
Yeah, and
But it
Deceit is
goes
2,
black-
1 more.
It goes
Blue,
black,
4
which
colors.
is black
Is see opponent's
that-
hand and yeah, so go ahead.
black is the dot C's basically.
Yeah, it's
Because it gets any non-land
yes.
card. And then the blue is a bounce.
Yeah, anything.
Anything. Bounce any
Which is-
non-land permanent.
Any non-land permanent, which is again amazing for the deck because it's like,
Because they can remove the hate pieces again.
or you get to see their heart and take any interaction piece that they're worried about, such as a force of negation or a consign.
Yeah. So if they're already playing 4 and 4,
The other important thing is that these things are at CMC2 when you evoke them, which means you can curve out them out perfectly, and then your next turn do either the Cascade spell, which is going to be Shardless Agent, or now Violent Outburst.
which means now they're going to come back.
And they're going to come back as a body, and their bodies are 6/5 or 5/5, which is not irrelevant.
No, it's literally, you're literally sitting there at any point in time going,
Yeah.
how in the heck am I going to deal with all this?
For sure.
And then the only thing is when they bring them back,
Mhm.
the only good thing is they can't do the triggers, the ETBs, because nothing was.
Oh, thank God.
But you got a 5/5 and a 5/6 or a
6/5. It's a 6/5. It's
6/5?
aggressively set.
a 6. You got 11 damage just with those two cards
If you,
alone.
I mean, I'm assuming on turn 1 you're going to cycle. They always cycle turn 1. So
Yeah.
you're going to have at least like an Ent or something. And on turn 2, if they don't do that, they'll cycle usually. And on turn 3, they'll go off. But like just at a minimum, that is good. And maybe they'll surveil as well, so they can have another
Yeah.
thing. At
But-
minimum, that'll kill you for sure.
But think of it like this: you slowed them down, you stopped them. This is now turn 4. You've built up a well enough board. Now you're going to your end step, and they're going Violent Outburst.
Mm-hmm.
They've already deceived you, and they've already what's that?
Wistfulness.
Wistfulness you in between those turns. So those two cards are in that grave. They've
Probably
already took
something cycled.
they've already took a hate piece, and they blew up a vexing bubble or something stopping them from doing their
Sure.
thing, right?
Mhm.
So now it's like turn you're ending turn 4 or ending turn 5 with a decent board state as far as you go. You have your creatures, whatnot. Now here they come with the on their turn, hitting you with the Violent Outburst,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they've already took your interaction and all that. Violent Outburst, wipe your board. Now they got 11 damage plus whatever. You're just dead next turn
Yes.
without being able to interact with
the other
anything.
issue is that the creatures automatically basically gain haste because it happened on your turn, so they untap and a swing.
Yeah. So
I
it's
will
like-
tell you, which is funny, is that the Violent Outburst giving +1/+0 has also killed me because they can like buff their creatures and choose not to cast the Living End. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny. It's not funny. I've played against this matchup so many times, and I do not look forward to playing against it because I foresee it becoming the best deck in the format.
I agree. I agree. It's like I think that will become tier 0.
Yeah, well, yeah. The other issue for it is that its sideboard hate pieces are really good against anything that they want to play. Like they dodge it, like Foundation Breaker if they want to play that. That's a elemental creature that has evoke for 1 and a green that destroys an artifact on ETB, which means it'll come back. And then it dodges Vexing Bauble because you paid mana into it.
Yeah.
And it's a CMC 4, so like what are you gonna have a chalice on 4? They play Force of Vigor, they play Subtlety. They like what?
Like I
And
don't.
then
I don't
here's the other issue of the deck is that because it plays all these type of things, their mid range plan is also like not terrible because like they're just like here's a subtlety, here's an endurance. Oh, they also play endurance. Here's an endurance. Here's like this other 4/4. I forgot the Curator of Mysteries. I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I just beat you with these flyers. Okay, cool.
I
Here's
don't.
you can have 3 rest in pieces. That's fine, but I have 4/4s with fly.
I don't. I don't. I don't think living and needed this unbanned.
Yeah, you know what's actually kind of funny is I'm sure the Living End versus Living End matchup is terrible because neither of them can play consign, but they can't.
But they gotta. But they
But
got.
they can't play both Teferi, so I don't know. And they both can play Commandeer, which they do play. And their other plan involves is like Inevitable Betrayal, which is another cascade spell, which lets you steal a creature. So like you're a big deck where you're like, well, I'll just discard stuff and hope to like let them cheat out my
Oh
big
no!
creatures.
I will. I will say they killed me with my own Griselbrand, and I hated it.
Yeah, they'll just be like, nah, I think I'll kill you with your creature. So like they have a lot of like agency to like pivot and maneuver. Um it was not necessary because like the deck was on the upcharge and you're like, what if we made the most uninteractable thing and
I don't think living. I think living and was making a comeback to be a reasonable tier 1 deck. I don't think it ever. There was a point in time when those other cards, the One Ring and all that stuff, grief really killed living in.
no, they played grief.
I know they play grief, but getting griefed.
They didn't care. They can just a top deck win. They usually griefed. They also play like Leyline of the Void sometime too.
Yeah, so it's just
I was like,
I never think that the Cascade decks were ever at a point to where they needed something unbanned.
there might have been a point at some point, but it wasn't right now because at least very least Living End did not need any help.
No, living in didn't.
It
need
literally
any help.
got it on Morrowind.
Yeah, and now that they unbanned this, it just seems to.
They're go ahead. Sorry.
It just seems to me that now it's became a deck that is now in uninteractable.
It is interactable, and there are certain things that can beat it, but it's just like it requires you to have a lot of luck and then having a nothing, and like sometimes it's not even like your play patterns. It's just like them not knowing how to out you. But realistically, one of the worst things is going to feel like, and you'll be on the receiving end of this, is like, okay, they'll go Violent Outburst on your turn, and you'll have an interaction for them because you won't tap out. You're like, I know this is happening, so you'll stop it. And I'll go, this is fine, and they will untap, and then they will cast a Shardless Agent on there. And then, like, are you going to have an interaction for that one too?
My thing is by them saying that their consigned to memory and vexing bauble
Or enough?
are enough, I think is absurd.
Well, the problem is like this format is like supposed to be like right now they go, oh, is it glued by like consign to memory? Because I don't think that's like a great card either. But that's a whole different conversation.
But the thing of it is, when consigned memory first came out in Modern Horizon 3, it literally kind of put a damper on some things, but over the years, I think that cards that have been printing out in different sets and stuff like that kind of mellowed out consigned to where it's not the end all be all card.
I think this entire format is just like on consign. It's like
I mean-
survives and half the unfair decks are living on consign, where it's a blink variant, neoform, reanimator or blink. They all live on
But
consign.
it's forcing. I feel like it's forcing a lot of players to have to play some sort of blue.
Yeah, because of consign.
Yeah, and by you putting in a deck, a cascade deck.
Yeah, if
that-
you're not playing blue, you're not playing.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
that,
I guess you could play colorless.
you could play colorless.
Colorless is like blue, but not colored.
Yeah, but the thing of it is that now now we have to sit here and be like, if I'm not playing blue, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? And I think that this card should go back on the ban list.
Mm-hmm.
And
We'll probably be there in 3 months.
yeah, I think they should go back on the ban list because at this point in time, the ones that they unbanned, Mox Opal, Green Sun Zenith, and Faithless Looting are all reasonable cards.
Mm.
It brought certain aspects decks back into the format with the Faithless Looting and the Mox Opal and the Green Sun Zenith, but I don't think the Mox Opal broke anything.
Sure.
I don't think Faithless Looting broke anything.
Hmm.
And I for sure Green Sun Zenith didn't break anything.
I think when people talk about Mox Opal and Affinity, usually when I have conversations with people, they never really go like, "Oh my god, it was Mox Opal that did me," and they're always like, "Fucking Kappa Cannoneer."
Exactly.
Like it's always Kappa. It's never any other card. Like sometimes I go, "Yeah, it was the what's the name? The new guy from
Edge of Eternity.
Edge of Eternities." But then I go, "Okay, but what would you have done if there was no Kappa Cannoneer?" And they go, "Okay, you're right. Nothing. Oh, you made 3/1/1s. Okay." And to be fair, like it's not like weapons manufacturing is also like a reasonable card that's like fairly interactable with. You could destroy it or something,
Yeah.
or like Hercule's Recall, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
But like there's like at least more than one card and more than one color.
Yes.
Right? How do you? Okay, so here I cast Kappa Cannoneer on turn 1. How do
Mhm.
you deal with it? If you didn't have like a subtlety and then a counter spell after, how did you deal with it? Well, you have 4 mana for a ward 4. Okay, so you have had like what, the Nuttron hand or something? Okay, cool. I've done that like once or twice, sure.
I
You
mean,
have an ensnaring bridge Tron hand, maybe. Like I like what are these plays that are available to you?
but yeah, but the thing about it is Infinity is not broken either.
Yeah, I think like it does some very unfair things.
It does some very unfair things, but it's not broken.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, one could
Because
describe
if
the
I
things.
could if now, hear me out. Right?
There
if
are
I'm able
interactable, yeah.
if I'm able to go, I'm on the play, right? And I'm playing, let's say Bluetron, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I go land Chalice on 0, what is Affinity gonna do from there?
Be very sad, I guess. Yeah, I feel so exactly. I think there's like real outs to that. Like they now they have to be like, well, how do I answer that?
Or I go
Not that they don't have answers to it. But
I'm
like,
not saying
yeah.
that they don't, but now they have to. Or I go Ugin's Labyrinth, put this thing on a thing, tap 2, play Talisman, tap 1, Vexing Bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have to find ways to
Mm-hmm.
get around. Living In
Already has those main decks.
has
right?
those main deck.
For
So
sure.
they don't even have to sideboard anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Correct.
Affinity has to sideboard.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of Charmless are playing Vexing Bubble.
For sure.
Main board.
A lot more lists are playing Vexing Bubble now. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Main board and probably a Chalice or 2 or a Trinisphere or something, right?
Yeah.
So for Living In to just sit there and be like, well, no, I got the answers already in my main board. I do not need to sideboard anything out. And now we're giving you Violent Outburst.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I don't have to side. If I'm playing Living In, I'm like, what do I got to sideboard?
I mean, you just probably bring in a couple of Force of Vigors to make sure they have nothing.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, because you just blow up their Saga
And then
the thing.
what did I do? I just go 1-1 on the Deceit and the Wistfulness.
I mean, I'm sure
That's what I would do. Bring in Force of Vigor, right? Go down 1-1.
maybe. I mean,
Right?
I don't know. I will probably be building a Living End just because it's like the best deck right now. Then I have the Violent Outburst. Because like, why wouldn't I see no reason not to build it if I have all the cards.
I feel like now I have to build the counter to that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I have to build the counter. I have to find a way to build a deck that is perfect for that and expect to run into it every time.
Yeah. And you still need to be able to beat the other decks, right?
Yeah. So you're making me. You're not making
Yeah.
the
It's not very fun for sure.
exactly. You're not making you want to make the
I
format
the thing
fun,
is,
but you made
I
it
remember
not fun.
playing against this, and it was really not fun because like you could just do nothing because you knew they had a violent outburst, so you could not cast your spell, and they just wait until they had more than one cascade spell, and then they cast it on your turn, and you'd have to counter the the
Yeah.
living end or whatever, and then you go untap and do it again. And you're like, well, I didn't draw another one, so I lose.
Or you have to sit there with true force negations and a pitch for the other one for their turn
Yeah.
because you had to leave your mana up
Yes.
for the first one to cast the first one,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you go past and have a pitch for
Well, yeah,
force.
and the problem here happened is that what they would do is they go, "Oh, okay, on your end step, I'll just flash in this endurance," and you're like, "Oh, fuck. Well, okay, I pass," and they go, "Hit you for 3, hit you for 3, hit you for 3," or I mean, and then you die. At the end of the day, it's just not a very fun play pattern, but it's also very inherently broken, and I think they'll eventually realize this and ban it. But I don't think it's inherently good for the format. If they just ban Flage and Lotus Field and unbanned Jitte, I would have been like, this is probably the best ban in forever.
Yeah, but by them unbanning the violent outburst,
Yeah.
I just
Not
feel
really.
like it just made it more unhealthy. It made
Yeah, it'll take about a month for because like the decks are like they're like one's like Teamer, one's like
Sultai.
Sultai or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. And one of them has white, I guess. Whatever. But they like 3-color. It'll take them a while to like get the right homogenization of like what lands and whatever the numbers of things to play. Once they have it like done correctly, you're gonna be like,
you're gonna sit there and you're gonna just be like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do?
yeah.
I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean there are some interactions available, but I feel like it requires you to be like have it always, and they don't need to have it.
Alright, so that's
But that's how I feel about it overall. Outside of that, I have been having a good time in Modern.
where would you grade this ban unban list for modern?
C.
A C?
Let's see. If the violent outburst was in there, it'd be like an A.
So I think it is a B minus.
Yeah.
Only for the violent outburst being unbanned.
That's also fair.
Because them banning Flage allows other decks to be played, such as my elves.
Yeah.
My elves now have much thicker legs to stand on.
Yes.
Right? And allows me to also play like things like Mardu Gorios and other things. Even though, yes, my Flage is gone, but I get to play Hardened Academic, which is really good. It
Yeah.
really
It's like a frog equivalent.
yeah,
for your deck.
when I went up against the other frog and I had the Hardened Academic, he had to get rid of the Hardened Academic.
Yeah, because you just block. It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like a frog equivalent. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said.
So it's like it's like he can't. He would like discard to frog, blah blah blah. I'd be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna discard to gain life. Gorios at the end of your turn win.
I you know what, Larry? How you described it, I'm gonna change my opinion to B minus as well. I'm just really unhappy that I have to play through Violent Outburst a second freaking time.
That's why I gave it a B minus. That's why I gave it a B minus.
Like, what again?
So
It's like Golgari Grave Troll again. How many times we got to teach you this? What? Jesus Christ.
But so it's an overall B minus. I think that the unban is what gave it the.
And I thought there were like so many other cards they could have unbanned that were like reasonable.
I want them to unban Glimpse of Nature.
And I think that was actually like reasonable. But like there's cards on the ban list right now that are just like, what are they gonna do? Unban Punishing Fire. Who's gonna play Punishing Fire in 2026? You're gonna play Grove of the Burn Willows to get back your Punishing Fire to shoot a Guide of Souls that's gonna have 3 counters on it? Cool, dude. Okay.
What? My
You're
thing
gonna-
is, what is Glimpse of Unthinkable gonna do?
Glimpse of Nature.
Glimpse of Nature.
So what was the issue?
What problem? My thing is,
Do you want me to explain to you what they're scared of?
What?
It's not elves. I know you want to play
understand.
elves. It's affinity, where they cast that and go ornithopter, this, draw a bajillion cards.
But didn't I've already explained that there's a lot of interaction for affinity?
Yes, but not if they cast Glimpse of Nature, cast 0-drop creatures, draw their whole deck, play like Laboratory Maniac, Thassa's Oracle, win. They will be able to draw their entire deck because the other part of their deck are like creatures that like cost less for artifacts
mm,
and draw cards
mm,
that will draw them more cards to cast.
mm.
Yeah. Something like that is what they're scared of, but I don't think that's a real thing they need to be scared of.
I don't think so either because then it makes
I think it's just like
has
super
to-
inconsistent.
I feel like that Affinity will have to switch up their whole game plan
Yeah.
to add Glimpse of Nature.
No, they don't have to change up. Mox Opal pays for any color.
Mm.
They don't have to change up any game plan. Mox Amber pays for any color.
But then the thing of it is an instant source. It's a sorcery, right?
Yeah.
Counter.
They play Dispute. Metallic Rebuke, sorry.
Okay, but still,
Yeah.
there's counters.
Yeah. I mean, like
There-
I think
There's
it's interactable.
multiple interactions
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Glimpse of Nature.
I think so too. I'm simply being the argument of like why they think it's not. I just don't agree with it.
I think that
I can think of several other cards, and we can actually make a video where we talk about how I feel about. I mean, like what cards probably don't belong on the ban list anymore.
but we'll say that for another time.
All right.
As of right now, that is it for
Wow.
the modern ban and unban list.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your recent success at the RCQ
Yeah.
and what you played against today and how you feel.
Oh, I sure, yeah. Today I played Espergorios.
And can you explain to the viewers what Espergorios is?
Espergorios is a reanimator deck that the main spell is Goryo's Vengeance, which is a 2-mana, 1 colorless, 1 black instant spell that says return target creature or legendary creature to the battlefield. And at the end step, exile it.
And it has haste,
And it
and
has
it
haste.
also has arcane spice.
And it does not have Arcane Splice, which I don't think has ever been relevant. I have never spliced on the Arcane, ever, on that spell.
I actually had an inkling where I was playing Through the Breach and Gorios in a Grixis
Yeah.
and spliced it then.
That
That was kind of like fantastic, but the deck is literally not good
Yeah.
to play in
Yeah.
tournament.
And so the deck focuses on discarding usually either a Grizzlebrand or an Atraxa, and then reanimating, and then you're winning with those two creatures because they find you a lot of cards, and it plays a reasonable amount of interaction. I played round 1. I played against Mill, which I think is just a really bad matchup for them because they mill. I played against Mill, which is usually a really bad matchup for them because they have to mill me, and I want cards in my graveyard. And that doesn't work out well for them because I just reanimate the thing that I want in the graveyard and just like cuts like half of the process out for the deck play. Round 2, I played against Grixis Reanimator, which is just a deck that focuses on persisting Archons of Cruelty, which is a creature that when it enters, the opponent sacks a creature, discards a card, and loses 3 life, and you draw a card and gain 3 life. And I just think that deck is just outclassed at this day and age, and so I beat that matchup because I play Reanimator a lot, and I play and own Grixis Reanimator, and I just don't play that deck because I just don't think it's that good. It just doesn't have any agency is the term I would use. Like putting Archon is just doesn't win you the game anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
And then I played against Eldrazi Tron against our friend Robin.
Yes, I
And-
saw that matchup.
It was Eldrazi Tron can actually go either or different ways, but I was able to Thoughtseize him game 1, and I took his Kozilek's command, so and then I consigned him 3 times game 2.
I mean, but most of the times with with Tron, they end up sometimes if it goes to the long game, it's really in their
Yeah.
favor, right?
Yeah, with Tron, especially nowadays, because they have Ugins and stuff, they can gain life. They can put a Sire of 7 deaths on the board, and they have Cosmos commands, which can be really annoying if you can't gain their life below things, and you can't combo out because they can just exile the thing. And they can usually win the game, or they put like Chalice, Trinosphere, etc., or Tormod Script, depending on what they play, to make sure
Yeah.
you don't have anything to reanimate. It can become a little difficult, and you have to play like a mid-range game, which you're not better than Tron at playing mid-range. All right, so
No,
like,
because they have the bigger creatures and
the
then
better
stuff.
spells. And
Then
stuff.
round 4 and 5, you
I
just
drew
drew.
I drew round 4 and 5 because I was like seat 1 at the time,
Yeah.
so it just like made sense. Round and then in the top 8, I played against Mardu Land Destruction, and which it's like a tricky matchup because like the new Land Destruction Ponza decks, they play a lot of removal, which is like, I mean, it makes sense. They have to like not die to a creature, but like Goryo's does play a reasonable amount of creatures between Frog, Emperor, Riddler, and like any other assortment of creature. Obviously, the creatures like Grizzlebrand and Attraction themselves. So you're like,
But the thing of it is, the creatures that matter, you don't need that much lands to play them, right?
yeah, you don't need that many lands to play them, so they have to take you off a number of lands, and we do play enough basics where we can just still do it because we only need like one colored source to like Goryo's,
Which
So-
is black.
which is black. So I did win game 1 because I'm only into 5, and I did keep a double Thoughtseize hand, which is pretty good because I just took the 2 removal spells and then I played around the third one, and eventually I got it because he had nothing to push damage with
And
or
then
play lands with. And then game, he just kept like a bunch of removal, which is like not terrible if you just expected me to try to early combo,
mhm.
but I didn't do that. And then game 2,
No, but you did. So like in game 1, you did have early combo, but because you thought Season saw
yeah.
the interaction, you was like, okay, I need to hold off, right?
Well, yeah, I did have an Emperor Bone. I had no way to discard the thing, so I just like played around it for a while.
Yeah. And then in game 2, he kept a hand with
Yeah, he
the
kept
relic, right?
Yeah. He kept a relic, a land, and a Field of Ruin hand with like the
Couple of other land destructions,
yeah,
and
2 land destructions, a Ketramos, and I
uh,
don't remember. Oh,
the-
the Wide Night Orchid.
Orchid.
Yeah, which
yeah.
I don't know why if he brought that in. I don't know why he brought that in. I don't think that card is good against Goryo's, but he did. And he never drew a red source until it mattered or another land. And I did Thoughtseize him again, and from then I just kind of beat him to death.
Yeah. And then in game 2, we are now going back to one of the variations of Cascade decks, right?
Oh yeah, and in my finals,
Which is the
finals, yeah,
Teamer Rhinos,
yeah.
which you just sat back and kind of played around the deck.
He played everything correctly.
But it was just
One
how
of the
you
things-
played
yeah.
around it.
One of the things in this matchup that is really important is that like the 4/4 Rhinos are not as good as they used to be, which is as we talked about in the Violent Outburst unban. Is like I'm not like, oh my god, Rhinos are back.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we're talking about here. Is that the 4/4 Rhinos are like reasonable threats, and like if you remember, like when we went to the RCQ, I think a week ago, I played against Rhinos as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like not a difficult matchup or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is not that. It's that at instant speed, if you're able to make the bodies, they get pseudo haste.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice is that he didn't have he kept a more interactive hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he suspended the cascading footfalls, which is
Mhm.
actually a reasonable play. And he played around my creatures, and it's actually a pretty good play here because in Goryo's the utility creatures are really good.
Yes.
Like
And those are the creatures you really want to interact with.
Yeah, you
in
have to
Gyros,
interact with-
right?
the problem with the deck is like sometimes they just have the combo and you die.
Mm-hmm.
So if you interact with those, you can't interact with the other ones.
Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of where do you
Yeah.
pick your poison at?
But the thing is, like, the longer you wait, there's very like we talked about. I don't beat Eldrazi Tron or any Tron variant in the long game, but I
Mhm.
beat every other deck in the long game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other. Yeah, I just like surveilled for like 4 turns, and then I consigned his because I play consigns in the main for
Yeah.
multitude of reasons because you can like consign the Riddler trigger,
You
consign,
could- yeah.
and now there's even more reasons thanks to Cascade.
Yeah, well, then now you can consign the Goryo's trigger off of,
Yeah, you can go
or whatever.
Yeah,
But in the second game against Lucas, did you not surveil?
I did- I-
Your
I- I-
Atraxa
I did surveil
into
attraction.
it.
I mean, I didn't do that the entire day. I did not
I
surveil
know, I
a single
know.
thing in the graveyard. So I play a larger number of big creatures or fatties as it's turn.
Yeah,
Like I play 6. So like my percentage at that point was like something around 15%.
yeah.
Yeah, like so it's like not unreasonable to do it every
I
once in a
play
while.
6 fatties too.
Yeah, so it's like not like unreasonable. Because like I'd drawn a few cards too at the time.
Yeah,
So it's like not unreasonable to do it once.
yeah.
Because I hadn't done it once and I just was like,
but
keep
it was
bland,
like-
keep bland, keep bland.
He even said it himself. So it was like you.
I did. I
Yeah.
got very lucky with that hit. But like I told him, my other play that turn because I was on the draw and I just playing
Mhm.
land. It's like I was just not gonna play a land and discard because I already had 2 lands in play,
Yeah,
and I was just gonna discard the Grizzlebrand and make the exact same play that I did
yeah. But with the
with the
Grizzlebrand.
Grizzlebrand.
Yeah,
And just changed how I did it.
yeah. You was able to play land this time now.
I was just able to play a land, and that was just slightly better for me.
Yeah,
But based on what happened, the outcome would have been the same
yeah.
because it actually would have been worse for him.
Yeah, it's just I've seen you play a lot more aggressively with your Esper deck than when you were played against Lucas. You played more conservative game, which not a lot of people know how to do with Esper Gorios.
Yeah, the issue is a lot of them like rush out the combo sometimes, and there are matchups where you should rush the combo.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these Cascade matchups are, I feel like, not necessarily where you need to rush it.
No, I feel like, and the thing of it is with me playing a Mardu variant of your Esper Gorios, my Mardu variant, when I go up against these Esper Gorios and they rush out the combo, I tend to win those matchups in my Mardu variant because they're rushing it and I'm able to interact with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they sit back because I'm in Mardu, I kind of have to push the tempo, which they don't need to in Esper. You don't need to push the tempo in Esper. And Mardu, pre-ban, I didn't need to either because I had the Flage.
For sure.
And so
Yeah.
I could easily just go, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For sure. I know. I agree. I mean, like against the Mardu Land Destruction deck, there was like a turn earlier I could have like reanimated and done it, but I didn't. I just went attack pass.
All right. Well, congratulations on your win at the RCQ, and you got your invite to which one? The one in Las Vegas, right?
Usually you can. No. There's not one in Las Vegas. It's in LA, and I forget where the other one is. But the way it goes is like if you get one, you can go to one.
Or
the
you
other
can
one-
save it for the other.
But if you
Yeah.
get both, you can go to both.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on that. And that will conclude our podcast on No Ban Cards. Again, I am Larry, the Elf Lord, and
I'm Rupon the Ulamog, I guess.
we'll
play
catch you
Ulamog
next
someday.
time
Yeah.
on No Bad Cards.
Only bad players.